Hi, I'm Matt with etrailer, and today we're talking about the Thule Roof Rack on top of our 2020 Ford F-150. Now this is going to be a great option for you if maybe you're using your bed for something else and you need to load some additional gear on your vehicle. Your roof's going to be a great location to store all that gear. So let's check it out. To give you an example of what I'm talking about, so today the truck we have has a camper on the back, and if you are currently hauling a trailer behind you, you won't be able to use your bed or your hitch. So mounting things to your roof rack is going to be a great option for you, especially what we have right now. We have a bike on a bike rack. You'll be able to use it for that, but you'll also be able to use it for cases where you have boxes, baskets, or even kayak carriers too. But whatever you're putting on here, they're all going to attach the same way, and they're going to attach to your crossbar. So you'll notice with this crossbar we have this kind of arrow shape to it, or where it kind of tapers off to the back side. And what this is doing for us is making this more aerodynamic to reduce that wind noise. And on the very top, we're going to have this T-channel. And covering that T-channel, we're going to have this weather strip. That weather strip is just going to reduce any wind from getting in there and prevent any debris from building up. And the main purpose of that T-channel is to put any accessories on here. A reason why you might want to put your accessories on a T-channel is so you have a little bit more room to play around with your crossbar with, because you'll be able to place it on top of where your towers sit, unlike with some clamp-on accessories. And these crossbars will work with most clamp-on accessories, as you can see, or how we had that bike rack earlier, how that wrapped around there completely. And beneath our crossbar, we're going to have our tower. And that's what grabs onto your crossbar and connects to your fit kit. If I remove this end cap at the very back, you'll notice this is where all the mounting hardware is located. And that's really nice that we get these end caps so we can cover all of that up to give us more of a cleaner finish. Right here, you'll notice we have this plastic core. You can actually get that replaced with a metal locking core just for some additional security so no one can take your crossbars. And beneath that, we're going to have our fit kit. And this is something that's going to be custom designed to fit on your vehicle. And I really like what Thule does with theirs, because we're getting a really clean finish on here, really good flush seat on here. And that's what's going to attach your entire kit to your roof. We can get a few measurements to show you how this is going to sit on top of your roof. The first one I like to get is going to be the distance between our crossbar and our roof. And that's going to be just a little bit under 2.5 inches, which isn't a whole lot of clearance. It'll be enough to get most accessories on here, or clamp-on accessories on here. But definitely keep in mind, if you have a sunroof built on your vehicle and if that extends upwards, you have a bigger or bulkier clamp, that could make contact. So just make sure you know what gear you have and what type of roof you have. As for the total distance, it's going to give you from your roof to your top of your crossbar, that's going to be a little bit under 4 inches, which isn't too bad. That's actually pretty low profile. What I recommend doing too is taking the total height of your vehicle plus your crossbars, and if you have any gear on top of that, include that so you know what areas you can make it. Some spots to really watch out for would be anywhere like a garage. And something else to keep in mind is going to be your spread. And the spread we have right now is going to be from the center of our front to the center of our rear, 27.5 inches. Now, you might be able to get some slight different variations just depending on how this is fitting on top of your roof. But this is going to be something, or you're going to have instruction that tell you exactly where these need to go. So I do recommend sticking with that. We're also going to have a weight capacity of up to 165 pounds for this rack. Now, it is important to check what your roof is rated for, because if you overload this, it could damage it. You can find this in your owner's manual. After you find that, I recommend going from the lowest rated component. But I think this is a great fit on top of our roof. I think the colors and the design really match what we have today. and especially this fit kit with how flush it sits up here is definitely one of the better fits I've seen. As far as the installation, that's also one of the easiest installations I've had on the F-150. If you are curious to see what that process looks like, stay tuned and we'll walk you through it. To start off the installation, we're going to lay everything out. So closest to me, we're going to have the crossbar itself, and up front, we're going to have the towers. In the center, we're going to have our fit kit, and then we're going to have this included Allen key with a built-in torque device. And what I recommend grabbing is a tape measure, just to make this a lot easier. Now we already have the front crossbar installed, but it's going to be the same process for both of them. I'm going to start off by preparing my tower to get the fit kit on. If this won't come off, just double check to see if this is in the unlocked position. We're good right now, so I'll just remove this just by pulling on it. Set that off to the side. And how I'm going to attach the fit kit is I'm going to come over here to this base. And I want to match up the shape of the rubber piece of our fit kit to the bottom of this. So once I've matched it up, I'm just going to push it into place and it should grab on. After when this is on there all the way, then we can move on to putting our clamp on. The way we're going to attach our clamp is you'll notice we have these hooks at the very end. That's what's going to grab onto the inside of your tower. So we're going to have this opening right here. We're going to put that thinner side in with the hooks and push it into place. Sometimes you might get some resistance, so I just like to wiggle mine around a little bit and just push a little bit till you hear a click. Then try to pull it out. If it feels like it's grabbing on, then you should be good. And you can repeat this process on the other side. We're then going to come over to our crossbar. We want to make sure the bottom is facing up, and that's going to be the side with this open channel. If it's not open, you probably got this tab slid all the way down. It's going to have these numbers marked on it. Just make sure you push that out of your way. We'll remove this end cap just by pressing on this tab and pulling it out, setting it to the side. And the trick to getting these towers into place, you'll notice we have this bolt right here and it's applying pressure, so the only way we can lift that up is to really squeeze on the back side of this. Notice how that kind of pulls into itself, and that's actually going to release some of that tension so you can slide this into place. So I'm going to squeeze, line that up with the channel and push it in till we have it onto our crossbar. Make sure you get both of your towers in place and to put your end caps back on. With both the towers on our crossbar, we can start getting this ready to put up here. Now you want to make sure this is in the right orientation. You're going to have this thicker side. We want that to be facing forward and this thinner side behind us. We're going to roughly place this up here because we do need measurements on where these need to sit. But just get a rough estimate of where you need to place it and open up your door so you can place this in or underneath your gutters. I like to stand up here too because it is kind of a pretty high reach. It's even going to be a little bit easier if you have a friend, but if you don't have anyone with you to help you out with this, you can do this yourself. You're going to squeeze on that clamp on the back and try to arrange this bottom of the fit kit so it reaches around. We're just a little shy, so I'm probably just going to have to adjust the other side to make sure everything's fitting correctly. So this is what we're aiming for. Right over here on that clamp, we want to make sure we're getting that full area being wrapped around. That hook is fully engaged, so it's not going to come up. And before we tighten this down into place, we want to get the measurement to make sure this is in the correct location. So I'm going to grab a tape measure, and I'm going to measure from the center of our front crossbar to the center of our rear crossbar. You'll have a specified number you want to hit in your instructions. make sure you just use that number to line everything up. Right now, my crossbar spread is a little bit too long, so I'm going to have to adjust that. And the way I can just adjust that is just by pushing on this, since this isn't tightened all the way. I'll just have to make sure I check both sides to make sure I have the right location. Once everything is where you want it to be, we can tighten it down. So what we're going to do is take that included Allen key and find this bolt that's inside of this hole and tighten it down some. Now the trick to this is not to tighten this down all the way at the beginning. We just want to provide just a little bit of tension on both sides. So starting with the passenger side, and then I'm going to go over to the driver's side, tighten that just enough that provides some contact, and then I'm going to go back and forth, tighten them both down so I don't pull too much from one side. And the way you'll be able to tell if this is tightened down all the way is when you hear that click right there. It's not a bad idea to just turn it again. Just have confirmation that it is locking into place. A couple of the last things I like to do is to put my end caps back on. So you just line up these two hooks with those holes, put it in at an angle, and rotate it until it clicks into place. And then I'm just going to take my flathead screwdriver and put it into the locked position. And at this point, I like to give it a good shake test just to make sure everything's feeling pretty good, nothing's moving. And if it does, you can load it up with whatever gear you have and go take it on a ride. But that's just a look at the Thule Roof Rack on our 2020 Ford F-150. Thanks for watching.